70 people died by homicide in Macon in 2022. Investigators say many of them were targeted killings. We often hear about gang wars in Macon and how some of the city's homicides are connected and retaliatory.
But how? Tonight, 13 Investigates. Ashlyn Webb explains one case where the Bibb County Sheriff's Office has linked 3 of Macon's homicides.
2 years ago this month, Amond Norwood was found dead. Then 1 year and a week later, one of his alleged killers, Damian Felton, killed hours after he got out of jail. And 2 days after that, someone gunned down Norwood's half-brother, Armando Cortez Clark. Investigators now say these 3 murders may have been retaliation, an attempt to even the score, all connected by gangs and family ties. To explain this story, we have to go back to May 7th, 2021.
I come the other way and I seen the arm sticking out in the mattress.
Willie Marshall was walking along Churchill Street at the edge of Macon's Unionville neighborhood when he found the body of 26-year-old Amond Norwood. He was underneath a mattress in an illegal dump site.
People that have so little regard for human life or a human being to kill them and then just put them in the side of the road in a rubbish dump like this.
His body partially burned, along with an ankle monitor still attached to him. He had bailed out of jail just 3 months before. But while investigators collected evidence and news reporters, including myself, were with the sheriff at the scene, gunfire.
You and I were there getting ready to do an interview, and he pulls up. I think it was in a white Dodge Charger.
According to a report written by a deputy closer to the shooter, the man yelled the words, "It's hell or jail," repeatedly.
Did investigators ever find out who that was at the shooting?
No, we've had some tips on who it was, but we haven't been able to drive it down specifically as to who that individual was, and we don't particularly know whose team he was on.
But investigators do know who was on the other team, the ones involved in Norwood's murder. Deputies arrested 28-year-old Jerome Beasley, 45-year-old Margareton Dudley, and 26-year-old Damian Felton. Court records say Felton was playing dice with Norwood at a shot house when a fight broke out and Beasley allegedly shot Norwood. The 3 then allegedly tried to burn his body and place it under the mattress. Damian Felton spent a year in the Bibb County Jail until Friday, May 13th, 2022. Noon tonight, a Macon man was shot to death outside his home this morning, hours after being released from jail. According to court records, a judge granted bond and he bailed out of jail at 10:41 p.m. after posting over $82,000. Less than 12 hours later, on May 14th, Felton was standing in the front yard of his home on Harold Street when someone shot and killed him.
Who do you think killed Felton?
We may have some ideas. We hear things in the street, but not enough right now to really make an arrest. But whoever shot him knew where he was, and that was sort of a targeted attack.
Court records say Felton belonged to Macon's Gangster Disciples gang, and Norwood, the man he was accused of killing, a member of a rival gang, Macon's Mafia.
We had heard word on the street that there was going to be some retaliation, and that's sort of what took place.
Just 2 days later, on May 16th, while Bibb investigators were still processing evidence in Felton's killing, 4 or 5 men were seen chasing Norwood's half-brother, Armando Cortez Clark, down Ibex Street. The Bibb County report says witnesses saw the men firing shots from both sides of the street at him. Clark died there. The shooters got away and still haven't been caught. Investigators say they don't believe Clark was part of a gang, just a relative of Amond Norwood's. But Sheriff Davis says investigators believe his death could have been gangs trying to even the score after Felton's death.
I think you could speculate that there may be some connection, within 2 days after Mr. Felton loses his life, someone connected to Norwood loses their life. The climate of these individuals, the people they run with, the type of activities they're involved in, leads us to believe that, it's sort of a get back, you get this one, I get that one.
And in Felton's case, investigators question whether his death was street justice for Norwood's murder.
It's sad it causes us to have one more homicide to investigate, but these individuals, you know, they affiliate themselves in these groups, and they affiliate themselves into these circumstances to where that as they're dying to belong to some group, and sometimes they get their wish.
Felton and Clark's murders are still unsolved, but the sheriff says they remain open investigations. The two surviving suspects in Norwood's case are indicted and awaiting trial, but both, according to court and jail records, are out on bond. For 13 Investigates, I'm Ashlyn Webb.
If you have any information about Felton or Clark's deaths, the sheriff's office asks you to call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-877-68-CRIME.
And you can head over to 13WMAZ.com for the full web story. You'll also find a timeline of Macon Bibb's gang killings.